Hey guys, what's up? Today I want to talk about one of the most important things in music, which is tension and release. Now, when we're playing music, a lot of times we'll see a dominant chord, a 7th chord, and I guess the question is, what are we gonna play on that chord? So we're gonna go over about 10 scales. We're gonna check out 10 different sounds that you can explore and mess around, and we're just gonna play together and we'll show you the exact fingering, the exact scales, the exact sounds, so you can do it. Alright, so in case you didn't notice, I have my good buddy here, Gabriel Gonzalez, amazing guitar player and awesome dude that just popped here to help me out. So let's do it. Before we start, I just want to say that we are going to show you the logic of how we're working with these scales and sound rather than just lines, because I figured, you know, you can check out lines all day, but I think for me this channel is more about giving you guys the tools and understanding how to do it. So I'm gonna show you the fingerings and the positions and all that stuff, but really the idea is that you go and explore and find those sounds yourself.
Sound good.
Yes, all right. 1, blues scale. Check out the sound of the blues scale. How would you play something? Yeah. And right now I'm just playing a G7 shell chord. Check this out. There is also a PDF on my Patreon if you guys want the fingerings and all the position for all these colors. If not, it's fine. Yeah. And he's just playing the blues scale, literally a G blues scale from the note G. This is the fingering here. This is the scale. That good old box of
goodness.
Exactly, it's awesome, and right, because you hear this G7, you feel all these tensions. I'm just gonna play the chord for a second, and he's gonna play the scale. Let me play it kind of slow so we can feel that pain.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Oh. Great. Right, and we're feeling like what I'm feeling kind of is this G center and really that pain. That flat 3 to the 4, with a flat 5 to the 5. And that is what's happening when we're playing all these. Right, we're basically just messing around these sounds. So when you have a G7 chord or a dominant chord, G7 is just an example, right? You can totally play the blues scale. It's gonna sound great. We're gonna play 2-5-1 in the key of C, so D minor 7, G7, C major 7, and A7, and we're gonna play the blues scale on that basically D minor and G7. So when we have the 2-5, we kind of drop the 2. We don't care about it. We look at those 2 bars as one big dominant, one big source of tension, and then the resolution will be on C major 7, where we're gonna shift to basically C major scale. 3. Right, and like you see, I just kind of played the same idea of this, like really nothing, just the scale itself, and just resolve into C major eventually. But yeah, it's cool because that tension, that flat 5 gives a lot of energy and a lot of tension that will be resolved later. Alright, are you guys ready for option 2?
Yes.
2. Mixolydian. So I don't really like thinking about modes, to be honest. So when I have a G7 chord and I want to think Mixolydian, I guess I am thinking G7, but I also know that G7 and C major are very good friends. So it's the same notes, right? Just kind of starting from G. So here's the position I would probably play, just starting from here, from the 6th string, that fingering. Simple and easy, and we're gonna play all the solos and ideas around this part of the neck so it's clear and using what we're talking about. So how about you start? 3. Yeah. is really simple ideas. The thing is, I guess for me, and maybe you feel the same way, like I want to play more tension because like we have this G7 and all we play is like right, and what happens here is like it's really like we articulate a lot of the G triad, which is great, but you know I really want to hear this like. So I feel like for me there isn't a lot of tension at this moment, although it's really cool. So it's definitely a great sound to have under your fingers, and it's probably one of the most important sounds, but just be aware that there are more exciting sounds to come. 3. Lydian sharp 4. Alright, so this is where my the jazz scare starts. I mean, not really, but I mean, you know, Lydian sharp 4 is kind of a fancy name to basically saying like we're playing the same scale we just played with a sharp 4, so having that sharp 4 flat 5 sound on top. So if you just listen to the scale, maybe I'll just play a G for a second so you guys hear it. So if this is the center, I'm playing G, A, B, right? Just regular, and then that's C sharp, D, E, natural, F, and G. Now, the thing is, if you want to think about fingerings for this stuff, like for me, I remember having like this epiphany when I was working on the stuff, that the melodic minor really saves the day in a way. So I remember working on all these melodic minor patterns, and then I realized like, oh, actually, when I'm playing this Lydian sharp 4 on G7, I'm actually playing D melodic minor. And I was like, oh, so it's not that hard because you already know the fingerings, assuming you know the fingerings. So here's the fingering, check it out. G, A, B, C sharp, D. And you can also check the PDF if you want. Right, so it's basically D minor, melodic minor, but we really think about it as G center. Let's do it. You got it?
Yeah.
3, 4. So right, I was just trying to kind of like having you guys hear that like that sound of the flat 5, because this is really, I think, is the strongest kind of characteristic of that sound, the flat 5 and also the 13. So because you get the E natural, so there is something very, just very mixolydian about it, but with a flat 5. So it's kind of cool, but not crazy.
Right.
One of the interesting things to do with all these things later on, I'm trying to kind of stick to this zone, but you can play all the triads and 7 chords of all these things. Maybe play comp for one more second, I'll just kind of show it me. 3, 4. What happened now, I mean, I just felt I could move more around the neck because I didn't restrict myself here, and then I used a lot of the 7 chord. So really D minor major 7, really articulating that chord and even using other chords from the scale, because again, the same way that we have triads in C major scale, so we can play triads and 7 chords, you know, with G Lydian sharp 4. So check it out. 4, the altered scale. This might be one of the most important ones just because it's super, super colorful. You're getting all the tensions. just like a lot of tension, so much color, and it's just like we're basically playing all the tensions almost. We're playing the 1, the flat 9, the sharp 9, and then also you're getting the 3, the sharp 4, the flat 6, the 7, and the 1. So, and you can think about this scale as well as A flat melodic minor, at least in terms of fingering. So when I'm hearing this, I am thinking G altered, but I know also that it's the same notes and the same fingerings as the one that I worked on when I checked out melodic minor. Yes.
Totally.
Right? How did you go about it?
I totally think of it as A flat melodic minor.
Yeah. It's fine. Like I do think about it as G-ish, but I know it's like there. So I'm kind of seeing this G-ness.
Right.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
3. Oh. Right, so that sound is very, very altered. All right, 5, diminished scale. Just check out the sound of this scale. It's always blows my mind how much sound and coolness there is there. So I'm gonna play the half whole scale. Maybe play the G7 for a sec. So this is just the scale, literally. And it's so cool. So what happens here is we're playing half whole, that's the whole scale. Half step, whole step, half step, whole step. This might be a good fingering maybe. Maybe this one. We can slide here, then. I mean, there are many options to finger these positions, but this is not a bad one. So let's kind of stay in this zone. Cool, awesome. So what I would do with this sound is, again, try to kind of listen to the sound of it. And then also sing it. You know, like with guitar, without guitar, just trying to. So really trying as much as we can to get close to the color and the sound of the scale, and then finding a fingering and then kind of doing some work on this framework of the scale. 6, this is the augmented one. So augmented is basically sharp 4 and it has a very magical sound, right? Just like beautiful sound. And let's just hear the scale one time. I'll just play G and you just play the scale for them. It's such a different sound than the diminished. Just check out the differences. This one versus.
So much more open.
Right, it's much more open, yeah. And that one feels so like dark and condensed.
Yeah.
And it's you know, this is what it's all about. I mean, eventually music is just about feelings and emotions expressed on a certain template. So you need to find your own words to express this augmented or diminished or Lydian sharp 4 sound, whatever it is, you know. And we'll talk about a few more devices to also make this simple later on this video. it's just about tagging those colors at the end of the day, finding a fingering that works and messing around and kind of tagging the colors to yourself and then trying to sort it out a little bit. All right, let's do it. So, like you see, we're playing the scale, and then on the D minor, literally, and the G7, because we're thinking about that tension zone, and that tension will be resolved on the C major. That's about it. That's all about tension and release and how we kind of weave between those sounds, I guess.
Totally.
7. This is a very jazzy one. This is the bebop scale. So the bebop scale is a whole video and whole conversation that I did, and you can check it out here. But for now, what I'm going to say is that we're going to use the dominant bebop scale, and we're basically going to add as one chromatic note between the 1 and the 7. So basically, so in a way, playing G, F sharp, F, and the idea of this whole scale is basically hitting as many chord tones on the downbeat as possible. So we basically articulate that center, that tension, the G7. You can play in 2 octaves, it will sound like this. And then basically resolving here. So what I did, the first one that I played, I really took like from the bebop scale kind of 101. I played a chromatic note, can't even say it, but a chromatic note to A minor 7, and then from the 7 of A minor, which is G, basically descending the scale literally 2 octaves, and then playing like a closure kind of idea. And then the second time I did something like that, if I remember correctly, just playing G7 to the 7, and then I played like a diminished thing or something to create actually a little more tension, which is a very kind of classic use of that idea, and then resolving. So yeah, these things are things that take time to process, right? I mean, how long did you practice bebop scale for?
I'm still practicing bebop scale.
Right. I mean, it's exactly that. So it's just like a universe of sound, and you know, and it's like you want to start a process and you want to understand the devices and colors that are at our disposal, almost like a painter that has these pigments and can make something cool. But except that, it's like, yeah, just exploring. So
Totally.
take your time, I guess that's what I want to say, and don't be like, oh, this is too much. Just like take one color and dive in.
For like a week. For like a month.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Maybe a year.
8. And I think this one was kind of an eye-opener for me, understanding that it's all about sounds. I mean, which sounds ridiculous because we know it's all about sound and colors, but this exercise really helped me. So what I'm gonna do is just play this drone, it's kind of G, and I'm gonna try to hear some colors on that. Now, I'm not restricted to just Mixolydian or Lydian. Everything is an option. Everything is a sound. It could be more diatonic or more chromatic. Right, that flat 2 has a place. You just need to hear it. How would you try? when he's playing that, for me, you know, I'm really hearing, oh, flat 2, he's going to the flat 2, he surprised me there, you know. You know, and then like, I really hear that in this kind of way. How do you think about it when you're playing these notes?
So I don't really consciously think about the notes, but like probably the beat between the notes, like just certain things sound a bit more tense, certain things just sort of align more, and just messing with that.
So I guess when he's saying the beat between the notes, he means like how much tension, right? So like the beating, like basically a minor second has a very harsh frequency versus an octave, or sorry, a unison that is like kind of perfect, right? It's kind of like almost a sine wave. This has a lot of tension, this has less. This is, you know, as like these two waves are kind of like weaving in a nice coherent way, where again, this has a lot of tension. For me, I guess like I'm trying to tag it as much as I can, so I'm aware of the notes and the numbers, I guess. So I kind of think almost like, oh, I kind of want to feel that feeling of the flat 2, and I know it's a flat 2, and I also know it's A flat. So I kind of try to tag all the 3 elements when I'm working on this, and I do it really slowly. Like, I guess this was almost like a fast performance in a way. Like when I work on that, I really go like, this is a 2, that's A, because this is G, is the 1. Flat 2, this is how it feels against. 7, I'm already imagining that flat 7. I'm gonna explore how it goes to the E, the 6, to the E flat, to the 5. And then in reality, after doing that a bunch of times, I start memorizing the sounds more and more and get more intimate with those colors.
Totally.
Yeah. 9. So 9 is actually singing this. So I feel like with music and guitar, a lot of times what happens when we hear people doing random things is like maybe they're not hearing it. Maybe they do, but a lot of times I think they don't. And I think for me as a journey, I'm trying to be as honest as I can and trying to hear more, right? So like for me, I'm trying to sing a lot of the things that I'm doing, and if I can't, then it means that maybe I'm not hearing it at the moment as strong as I want to. So then I need to work on that, and it's totally fine. I'm just trying to be honest with myself and hopefully with you guys, you know. So when I'm playing something, I'm hopefully hearing that as clearly as I can at this moment. So the point is that I want to try and sing this a little bit. So we're just gonna have this center. Sol, si, re, mi, mo, re, do, dièse, re, si. Right, so I'm imagining the sounds in my head. I think that's what I kind of played. And, you know, I'm just imagining the sound, and I'm saying solfege. You can say numbers, it doesn't really matter. It could be anything. But the idea is like the sounds are clear enough in your mind, and you have the vocal cords to produce it. And, you know, if you've never done it, it's going to take a minute. I guess since our friend COVID-19 started, I was basically every day really practicing a lot of these things, just like singing it. So just like, you know, sol, re, mi, mol, mi, mol, re, do, dièse, si, si, sol, si, si, sol. Just hearing that relationship and trying to, just get at ease with that. Let's hear it. Without the guitar. Yeah. Great. And you know, and yeah, it's fine. Like I just wanted to like prove the point that he hears it and he can just sing it, right? And it's, we're holding a guitar, so it's like very tempting. And you know, and you can check yourself as well. It's totally fine. I mean, we all do that. It's totally fine. But I guess like the idea of this exercise is making sure we are honest with ourselves and we can hear these elements as much as possible. So singing is a really good indication of that process. 10. All right, so I'm happy you're still here, or I hope you're still here. And this one is kind of cool. This is basically superimposing different pentatonic scales and structures on top of G7. So there are actually quite a few options and you can explore by yourself, like always. But I'm going to show you one option that I think sounds pretty cool. So I'm going to take, let's do the F minor pentatonic. And the F minor pentatonic, if we have the G7 chord, I can play like this box here, but I'll play it here so you see it like, oh. I'll play it, oh, sorry, not A flat, G7. So I'll play it here from the A flat. So here, the flat 9, the sharp 9, the 4, the flat 6 or the sharp 5, the 7, and again. So it's actually super intense because you don't have the G even. but if you resolve it right, you can get, that sound and tension that we all desire so much. So you got it. So I'm really thinking, F pentatonic. This is the fingering that I would probably use, and if I would kind of play it around this neck of the woods. Just that box. And then the resolution to C is gonna feel great. And you can also play on C, E minor pentatonic. So in a way you can think about this 2-5 is F minor pentatonic and the C would be just E minor pentatonic. And that's kind of like the line that I played, I think something like, or it was that. You could totally play like an F minor idea and then go to E minor for the resolution. Play the chords 1 second. Right, it's just the same idea. Just the same kind of sounds. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Gabe.
Anytime.
That you're stopping by and hanging and
Glad
playing.
to be here.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys very soon. Make some music.
Take care.